again, a very good morning. If you're just joining us, welcome on board. For those that have been with us, especially from the start, many thanks for your company. Let's now go into our business update, where we are discussing the importance of customer service excellence in every aspect of life. But for this particular interview, we shall be looking at, well, the banking industry. Just a preamble, the Customer Service Week, or CS Week, is an international week-long celebrated annually during the first full week of October, when customer-oriented organizations and institutions around the world recognize the importance of customer service excellence. Joining us to help us wade our way around these very tight waters is the I&M Bank Chief Executive and Chief Executive Director, I must be very specific, and Chief Operations Officer, Sam Ntulume. Many thanks for joining us this morning. How are we doing?
Very fine, thank you, Chris, and thanks for hosting me here.
Good. Just give us a brief on what the Customer Service Week is and why you are in it, including some other organizations and institutions, as I just alluded to in the preamble.
Thank you very much. Internationally, the first week of October is set aside to celebrate our customers, to celebrate customers worldwide.
That's right.
And for this particular year, the theme for the international celebration is celebrating service.
Celebrating
now,
service.
Customers are very, very important for organizations. Because the reason why organizations exist is to ensure that they solve their customers' problems.
That's right.
And ensure that at the end of the day, the customers are happy and they have found solutions to the problems that they have in their different places. So this service week has been very, very important for us as an institution. One, from a point of view that during the course of next month, we shall be celebrating our 1-year anniversary of having changed from Orient Bank to I&M Bank.
I&M Bank.
And for us, it's because of our customers, and we believe that it's very, very important for us to take some time to take stock of the 1 year, but also look at the future of what we want to do for our customers in the, at the bank.
Okay. Yeah, the banking industry there, of course, comes into mind when you talk about the customer service and the ability to put the customer first. There are tendencies, and I'm afraid we're going to have to tackle the hard questions, where customers often feel like there is not a very concerted effort on the part of those that provide banking services to ensure that first and foremost they have a good time, but they get the best possible value for their money. How is this playing out? Just the other day I received a message from one of the banks, and they were telling me how I was their valued customer, and the only thing I usually see is a deduction on a monthly, and I never see anything that comes out. Well, there are telecoms that try to give interest to their customers, though it was a bit, well, what do banks do to make the average customer, the one that doesn't have the fixed deposit accounts where they can get interest, but is for example, runs a savings account?
Thanks, Chris. I think the role of banks is to provide solutions to customers' issues.
That's right.
And I think we are playing in the financial industry where the product or the solution that we have is largely money. And then on the other side, we have customers who need money. Okay? So we play the intermediary role to provide money to those that need it. And keeping it to those that don't have a safe place in which to keep the money.
Or don't need it for that moment.
Exactly. So that's the key thing that all banks do. Now, for us to do that well, it's very, very important for us to appreciate and understand what is the customer's problem. Okay? You can't attempt to solve a problem. You can't attempt to come up with a solution for a customer if you do not appreciate and understand what their issue is. And different customers will have different issues. Okay? So a customer who has a liquidity problem, a cash flow problem, will probably need a small overdraft to help them go through the muddy waters. And then once they're out of the muddy waters, then they repay back.
That's right.
You can't prescribe that same solution
for another.
So the first thing I think on our side is to make sure that we appreciate the customer's issue and then solve it. Now, how are we going to do that to make sure that we have happy customers? The first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we engage and interact with our customers on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Okay? The SMS that you received, I mean, it's good. It's one way of interacting with the customers.
That's
but I think we need to take it a step further. Go and visit the customer at their premises, appreciate their scale of business, appreciate what they do.
That's right.
Then that way you can prescribe the right solutions. If you go to if you, for instance, a doctor prescribed medication for you without looking at you, I think it's more than likely that
they won't get it right. Sure.
Right, yeah.
Now, of course, the banking industry grappled a lot with the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the 3 years that we've seen business go on a downtrend. Many are also struggling to come out of it. How do you ensure the customer is still king or comes first as you are also trying to emerge from the very challenges that many could be facing?
You raise a very pertinent point. I mean, the 2 years of COVID have impacted both the customers and also ourselves as an institution.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of thought process and research going into, okay, we've been through that. What can we do differently? What can we do better going forward? And I think at this juncture, I'll also want to appreciate partners like our regulator, the Bank of Uganda, that have come up with solutions for the people who have been hurt most, the sectors that have been hurt most by COVID, by providing some short-term interventions. They have done that for the customer, but also for us on the commercial banks. They have provided us with liquidity that can help us pass on to the customers to ensure that their businesses remain afloat. The government has also been very supportive during this COVID period. So as we all come out of the COVID pandemic, we don't know what will come next tomorrow. I think the key thing that you're seeing at I&M Bank and some of the other institutions as well is the fact that we have now noticed that it's very important for us to provide services anywhere and anyhow. Okay, so there's a lot of digitization going into the banking industry so that someone can sit at their home, provide the convenience and do their banking without having to move to the bank. I mean, the times of COVID, we realized that there was no movement. But again, business had to continue. So I think on our side right now, there's a lot of research going on. There's a lot of innovation going on to ensure that we can enhance the customer experience, enhance the connectivity, that the customer can always interact with their bankers wherever they could be.
Allow me to ask a question that spills over and above the frontiers of banking and into employment sector and the culture of relations between the service providers and the customers. Many times we find that there is a disconnect between ability to understand the customer first and foremost, but also project the best possible picture for the organization as a frontline worker. Is there a set of pointers or aspects that should be undertaken as a people to ensure that those that are on the front line of interfacing with the customer, especially physically, improve on the way they do their work as part of the greater aspect of improving the way we do our work, so that within the region we become the front runners when it comes to service delivery, other than looking at Kenyans or any other person as better than Ugandans?
Yeah. So there is a lot actually that we are doing in the banking industry, especially with respect to supporting our staff to be able to serve our customers better. And in particular reference, we at I&M Bank are using this particular week actually to roll out our service standards. We've done a lot of research over the last 1 year when we became I&M Bank, and we've come up with a set of new standards that we believe will provide us the direction and the guidance to our staff internally to ensure that they can anticipate the customer's needs and also be able to solve the customer's needs as we move along. So what is actually coming up is that there's a lot of internal training that is going on. There's a lot of development amongst the staff. We are talking about digital right now, and we are upskilling our staff to ensure that they can serve the tech-savvy customer going forward. The customer has evolved, the customer dynamics have changed, and it's only imperative that if you have to have a sustainable business, then you need to do the same internally. So we're doing that for our staff, and we're proud of our staff.
All right, Sam Ntulume, Executive Director and Chief Operations Officer at I&M Bank. Many thanks for the insight and perspectives on customer service excellence and what the bank is doing to ensure going forward that is improved. That will do it for a business update discussion, but do stay with us. We are coming back with something on entertainment, given the fact that it's a Friday and of course the moods are Friday. We're going to be talking High People Awards and their impact on our own society. Stay with us.